You see 100% beef and think simple. But what if that patty is actually a stitched-together product of industrial processing, scraps bonded into a tidy circle, then boosted with additives to fake flavor and texture? In the next minutes, we'll unpack how a clean label can hide a messy supply chain, mechanical separation, binders, and an ingredient list that reads more like a lab order than lunch. If you care about what you're feeding your body and your budget, you'll want to see what beef really means here and how to spot real food instead. Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great. Thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video. You see 100% beef on a menu. The plant sees trim, a rinse, and a form. Let's start with what that label really covers. Beef means it came from a cow. It doesn't promise how the parts were blended, washed, or shaped after they hit the grinder. By the time it reaches you,
McDonald's has spent billions selling the idea of 100% beef and fresh ingredients. But behind those golden arches, former employees and health inspectors are telling a very different story. These 5 shocking truths.
We visited a meat factory to find out how McDonald's burgers are made. The process begins on cattle farms, where thousands of cows are raised. McDonald's burgers are made with beef. Cows are slaughtered in slaughterhouses.
Will change the way you see fast food forever. And I'll show you what to eat instead. Let's start with what McDonald's calls 100% beef, but what food scientists call mechanically separated meat product.
the muscle, fat, and connective bits have been pushed into a uniform mass that behaves the same on every griddle. The truth is, the patty is built for predictability. Think drywall mud smoothed across a wall. Different chunks go in, a smooth paste comes out, and the surface looks perfect. That uniformity isn't an accident. It's the product of fine texture steps and rinses that strip variation so every bite chews the same, holds the same, and browns on cue. In ads, you see a hand-pressed patty. On the line, you get an analog of mechanical separation and other industrial moves that most diners never see. Processing aids help manage pathogens, pH, and shelf life during long hauls and cold storage. Food rules allow 100% beef if beef is the input, even when texture systems, flavor tweaks, or binders ride along as part of the process before and during cooking. On an assembly grill, engineering beats cooking. Discs are calibrated for thickness and water loss, so they thaw fast, steam in their own juices, and hit a target sear window. That's why a timer, not a cook's eye, decides when it's done. The real kicker, past headlines about ammonia washes fading out at some suppliers didn't end the industrial toolbox.
Probably heard whispers about pink slime, but the reality is so much worse than you imagine. That ground beef in your burger isn't ground at all. It's been mechanically separated, chemically treated, and reassembled into something that...
And the meat is sent to McDonald's suppliers. McDonald's has assured that their burgers do not contain preservatives. However, many people believe that McDonald's burgers are filled with preservatives. In this video, we visit a factory of McDonald's suppliers.
Barely resembles actual meat. A former McDonald's meat processing plant worker shared this nightmare with me. We'd take all the leftover scraps, tendons, cartilage, fat trimmings, and run them through a machine
where an average of 5 million burgers are made daily. The factory is approximately the size of a football field. This factory produces the meat used in the burgers. This company is one of the world's largest suppliers of burgers for the fast food chain.
Other steps still chase the same goals: texture control, pathogen reduction, longer hold times. So 100% talks about origin, not the trip. What lands in your hands is a design product tuned to survive shipping, sitting, and speed. And the patty is only the start. The bun, the sauces, the fries, they carry their own lineup of helpers to lock in color, crunch, and aroma. If the meat is engineered for uniformity, what happens when the rest of the meal gets the same treatment? Now let's move on to the chemical cocktail hiding in the sides and sauces. If the meat is tuned like a gadget, you have to ask what's going on with the bun, the sauces, the fries. Why do the labels read like a lab sheet instead of a recipe? Because this simple meal is a stack of systems. Sauces lean on emulsifiers so oil and water act like friends. Buns get conditioners that speed dough, keep it soft, and lock in a springy chew. Fries run on flavor systems built to hit the same note every time, even after a ride under heat lamps. That natural vibe on the menu runs into fine print that sprawls, stabilizers that hold shape, preservatives that buy time, flavor enhancers that stand in for freshness. It's a movie set burger. Stage lights, makeup, camera tricks. Only here the tricks are dough conditioners, anti-foaming agents and fryers, and natural flavors with a flexible definition. Research points out the split in rules across borders. Some preservatives and conditioners face tighter limits or bans in parts of Europe and other markets while they remain allowed in the US.
McDonald's stopped using the ammonia-washed beef in 2012 after public outcry, but they never stopped using mechanically separated meat. The pink slime might be gone.
Next, the meat is placed in boxes with a capacity of about 500 kilograms. Almost 500 containers a day are needed to make enough burgers.
They just found new ways to make the scraps look like ground beef. More chemicals, different processes, same questionable results. Think about this. When was the last time you saw a McDonald's burger actually rot?
When the ground meat looks like spaghetti, it is perfect. Then another machine shapes the meat into patties and adds the famous preservatives. The meat is frozen at a temperature of -18 degrees Celsius. To keep the production process active,
One dough helper drew headlines because it shows up in foam products and can break down into risky byproducts when heated. Different rulebook, different result. Let's talk fries. That natural beef flavor hits the memory of beef fat even when no beef is in sight. A scent diffuser for your tongue designed to plug straight into nostalgia. Food scientists describe the long specs that govern fast food. Multi-ingredient systems that manage texture, browning, and aroma so fries crunch after a hold, buns don't stale, and sauces don't split. Now the real kicker. Oil quality changes the math in your body. Old or mismanaged oil throws off reactive compounds, and when filters and cleaning slip, inspections catch it. Add hygiene lapses, and you get a side of stuff you did not order. So why do the ingredient lists run 3 pages?
Real meat spoils within days. But McDonald's burgers can sit on a counter for months without growing mold. That's not preservation. That's chemical engineering. A viral experiment.
fewer people are needed than one might imagine. A total of 100 people work in the factory. In total, the factory has the capacity to produce around 30 million burgers per week, although its production is slightly lower.
Because every step is tuned. Color, crunch, shelf life, simulated flavor. And yes, some additives flagged abroad still show up here. You now know the recipe behind the uniform bite. Let's talk about your next move. How to spot real food options and keep your money and health intact. The truth is, a cheap meal trains your tongue. Engineered flavors hit the same buttons over and over until real food tastes dull. Meanwhile, your body takes the load. Stabilizers, preservatives, processing aids, each doing a tiny job that adds up when you make it a habit. Cheap at the register, costly down the line. You have options. Read the ingredient list. Pick places that post theirs. Swap one fast food run this week for a simple, real plate you cook, or a local spot that lists sources. Next time you see 100%, ask the follow-up. 100% what? And what else is riding along?